बानी। क्या किया? बानी संत कबीर जी। कबीर करब ना कीजिए, काल गहे कर केस, ना जानो कित मारिए, क्या घर क्या परदेस। झूठे सुख को सुख कहे, मानत है मन मोद। जगत चबेना काल का, कुछ मुख में कुछ गोद। कुशल कुशल ही पूछते, जग में रहा न कोई। जरा मुईना भय मुआ, कुशल कहाँ से होए। पानी केरा बुद बुदा, असमानुस की जात। देखत ही छिप जाएगी, जो तारा पर भात। यही अवसर चेत्यो नहीं, पशु जो पाली देह। सतनाम जान्यो नहीं, अंत पड़े मुख खेह। जन कबीर बंदन करे, के ही विध की जैसेव। वार पार की गम नहीं, नमो नमो गुरुदेव।
बानी स्वामी जी महाराज। वचन 19वां, शब्द दूसरा। गुरु का ध्यान कर प्यारे, बिना इसके नहीं छूटना। गुरु का ध्यान कर प्यारे, बिना इसके नहीं छूटना। नाम के रंग में रंग जा, नाम के रंग में रंग जा। मिले तो है धाम निज अपना। गुरु की शरण दृढ़ गुरु की शरण दृढ़ कर ले, बिना इस काज नहीं सरना। गुरु का ध्यान कर प्यारे, बिना इसके नहीं छूटना। लाभ और मान क्यों चाहे, लाभ और मान क्यों चाहे, पड़ेगा फिर तुझे देना। कर्म जो जो करेगा तू, कर्म जो जो करेगा तू, वही फिर भोगना भरना। गुरु का ध्यान कर प्यारे, बिना इसके नहीं छूटना। जगत के जाल से ज्यों त्यों, जगत के जाल से ज्यों त्यों, हटो मर्दानगी करना। जिन्होंने मार मन डाला, जिन्होंने मार मन डाला, उन्हीं को सूरमा कहना। गुरु का ध्यान कर प्यारे, बिना इसके नहीं छूटना। बड़ा बैरी यह मन घट में, बड़ा बैरी यह मन घट में, इसी का जीतना कठिना। पढ़ो तुम इस ही के पीछे, पढ़ो तुम इस ही के पीछे, और सब ही जतन तजना। गुरु का ध्यान कर प्यारे, बिना इसके नहीं छूटना। गुरु की प्रीत कर पहले, गुरु की प्रीत कर पहले, बहुर घट शब्द को सुनना। मान दो बात यह मेरी, मान दो बात यह मेरी, करे मत और कुछ जतना। गुरु का ध्यान कर प्यारे, बिना इसके नहीं छूटना। हार जब जाए मन तुझसे, हार जब जाए मन तुझसे, चढ़ा दे सुरत को गगना। और सब काम जग झूठा, और सब काम जग झूठा, त्याग दे इस ही को गहना। गुरु का ध्यान कर प्यारे, बिना इसके नहीं छूटना। कहे राधा स्वामी समझाई, कहे राधा स्वामी समझाई, गहो अब नाम की सरना। कहे राधा स्वामी समझाई, कहे राधा स्वामी समझाई, गहो अब नाम की सरना। गुरु का ध्यान कर प्यारे, बिना इसके नहीं छूटना। गुरु का ध्यान कर प्यारे।
बानी संत मीराबाई जी। मैं तो गिरधर के घर जाऊं, गिरधर के घर जाऊं। गिरधर मारो साचो प्रीतम, देखत रूप लुभाऊं। रैन पड़े तब ही उठ जाऊं, भोर भये उठ आऊं। रैन दिना वाके संग खेलूं, जो त्यों ताहिर जाऊं, जो त्यों ताहिर जाऊं। मैं तो गिरधर के घर जाऊं, गिरधर के घर जाऊं। जो पहरावे सोई पहरूं, जो दे सोई खाऊं। मेरी उनकी प्रीत पुरानी, उन बिन पल ना रहाऊं, उन बिन पल ना रहाऊं। मैं तो गिरधर के घर जाऊं, गिरधर के घर जाऊं। जहां बिठावे तित ही बैठूं, बेचे तो बिक जाऊं। मीरा के प्रभु गिरधर नागर, बार बार बलि जाऊं, बार बार बलि जाऊं। मैं तो गिरधर के घर जाऊं, गिरधर के घर जाऊं। गिरधर मारो साचो प्रीतम, देखत रूप लुभाऊं।
बानी संत दरिया जी। साहिब मैं गुलाम हूँ तेरा, साहिब मैं गुलाम लिख लीजिए एह कागज को रे, जन्म जन्म का चेरा साहिब, मैं गुलाम हूँ तेरा। जैसे पूत कपूत जो होवे, पिता करे प्रतिपाला, बहुत प्रेम मोद मन भर के, नजरें हैं कीन है निहाला साहिब, मैं गुलाम हूँ तेरा। जीव के गुण ए गुण जन खोजिए, ऐसी रहन न आई, उठत बैठत नाम तुम्हारा, सरन सरन गोहराई साहिब, मैं गुलाम हूँ तेरा। एही अर्ज सुनो सरवन में, हंस भी गोई ना जाई, कहीं दरिया ले नाम तुम्हारा, मुक्ति सदा फल पाई, कहीं दरिया ले नाम तुम्हारा, मुक्ति सदा फल पाई साहिब, मैं गुलाम हूँ तेरा। लिख लीजिए एह कागज को रे, जन्म जन्म का चेरा साहिब, मैं गुलाम हूँ तेरा, मैं गुलाम हूँ तेरा।
बानी स्वामी जी महाराज, वचन 33वां, शब्द 20वां। लगाओ मेरी नैया सत गुरु पार, मैं बही जात जग धार, तुम बिन नाही को कढ़ियार, तुम बिन नाही को कढ़ियार, लगा दो डूबी खेप किनार, लगाओ मेरी नैया सत गुरु पार। सहेली मत तू मन में हार, सहेली मत तू मन में हार, दिखाऊं जग का वार और पार, चढ़ाऊं सूरत उल्टी धार, चढ़ाऊं सूरत उल्टी धार, शबद संग खे उतारूं पार, लगाओ मेरी नैया सत गुरु पार। गुरु को धर ले हिये मंझार, गुरु को धर ले हिये मंझार, नाम धुन घट में सुन झनकार, तरंगे उठती बारंबार, तरंगे उठती बारंबार, भंवर जह पड़ते बहुत अपार, लगाओ मेरी नैया सत गुरु पार, मेहर से पहुँची 10वें द्वार, मेहर से पहुँची 10वें द्वार, राधा स्वामी दीना पार उतार, लगाओ मेरी नैया सत गुरु पार, लगाओ मेरी नैया सत गुरु पार।
बानी मीराबाई जी। नदिया गहरी नाव पुरानी, किस विध उतरूं पार, नदिया गहरी नाव पुरानी, किस विध उतरूं पार, मन मान जब तार किस विध उतरूं पार। वेद पुराण बखानी महिमा, वेद पुराण बखानी महिमा, लगे ना गुण को पार। योग याग जप तप नहीं जानू, योग याग जप तप नहीं जानू, नाम निरंतर सार किस विध उतरूं पार। नदिया गहरी नाव पुरानी, किस विध उतरूं पार। बाट तकत हो कब की ठाड़ी, बाट तकत हो कब की ठाड़ी, त्रिभुवन पालनहार। मीरा के प्रभु गिरधर नागर, मीरा के प्रभु गिरधर नागर, चरण कमल बलिहार किस विध उतरूं पार। नदिया गहरी नाव पुरानी, किस विध उतरूं पार। मन माने जब तार प्रभु जी, मन माने जब तार किस विध उतरूं पार। नदिया गहरी नाव पुरानी, किस विध उतरूं पार। किस विध उतरूं पार।
राग तनासरी महला पंजवा। बानी गुरु अर्जन देव जी। जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते, सोई सोई देवे। जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते, सोई सोई देवे। नानक दास मुख ते जो बोले, इहाँ उहाँ सच होवे। नानक दास मुख ते जो बोले, इहाँ उहाँ सच होवे। जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते, सोई सोई देवे। चतुर दिशा कीनो बल अपना, सिर ऊपर कर तार्यो। चतुर दिशा कीनो बल अपना, सिर ऊपर कर तार्यो। कृपा कटाख अवलोकन कीनो, दास का दुख बिदार्यो। कृपा कटाख अवलोकन कीनो, दास का दुख बिदार्यो। जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते, सोई सोई देवे। हर जन राखे गुर गोविंद, राखे गुर गोविंद। हर जन राखे गुर गोविंद, राखे गुर गोविंद। कंठ लाए अवगुण सब मेटे, दयाल पूरख बखसंद। कंठ लाए अवगुण सब मेटे, दयाल पूरख बखसंद। जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते, सोई सोई देवे। जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते, सोई सोई देवे। बानी स्वामी जी महाराज, बचन 28वां, शब्द 3। मोहे मिला सुहाग गुरु का, मैं पाया नाम गुरु का। मोहे मिला सुहाग गुरु का, मैं पाया नाम गुरु का। मैं सरना लिया गुरु का, मैं किंकर हुआ गुरु का। मेरे मस्तक हाथ गुरु का, मैं हुआ गुलाम गुरु का। का। मोहे मिला सुहाग गुरु का। मैं पाया नाम गुरु का। मैं पाया धार गुरु का। मैं पकड़ा चरण गुरु का। मैं सर्वस हुआ गुरु का। मैं हो गया अपने गुरु का। मोहे मिला सुहाग गुरु का। मैं पाया नाम गुरु का। कोई और ना मुझ सा गुरु का। गुरु का मैं गुरु का गुरु का। कोई और ना मुझ सा गुरु का। गुरु का मैं गुरु का गुरु का। राधा स्वामी नाम यह धुर का। मैं पाया धाम उधर का। मोहे मिला सुहाग गुरु का। मैं पाया नाम गुरु का।
Welcome, friends, to the afternoon session of Great Masters Bhandara on 2nd April. We are blessed to have, with the grace of Bade Maharaj and Ishwar Ji, we are blessed to have an opportunity to celebrate Bade Maharaj's Bhandara in Delhi NCR over 2 days this time. So I hope the offline Sangat had good lunch prasad. I hope you enjoyed it. As we always do during these events, this is also His grace that we are able to manage all these affairs and have good Langar Prashad for our Sangat. So, for the evening, afternoon half, we have a guest speaker. He is Jagan G. He represents Isha in the US. He's been doing Seva since, I guess, Ishwarji gave him seva of managing the Isha in the US and the building committee over there. He's managing things since Ishwarji passed away. So we have a great opportunity this time that coincidentally he's in India and he came for our event. And this session will be taken by Jagannath Ji. So I would like to invite Jagannath Ji to come forward and take this session.
Thank you for the very warm welcome, and thank you, Nipun, for the introduction. It is my great fortune. I'll become emotional as well. Great fortune and honor to be sitting here amongst you, amongst all the seekers who have known Ishwaji for much longer time than I have been made aware of him. It is a huge responsibility to be sitting in this chair. I don't think I'm capable. It's been 5 years since Ishwarji gave me some seva, and I've been trying to do it as best as I can. I know people tell me that I'm improving, but I feel I'm still at the same place, same way nervous as the first time I was before the camera. So it's a lot of work from me, but I'm willing to do anything for my master, because I feel I could not say no to him. When a master asks you something, what can you say? So thank you to Nipun also. He has dedicated himself for this work, and all the sevadars. No two work is different. We are all doing seva for him because we were blessed by him. A lot of us got initiated by him, and some of us were fortunate enough to be in close enough proximity that somehow it's changed our inside. When I look back at my life trajectory, I cannot really feel that I'm still the same person. After meeting this man and blown away by the first YouTube video that I saw, prior to that, I had seen some spiritual discourses, but nothing of the length that Ishwaji used to talk about hours long. And most of the time I used to get mixed up in vocabularies of different masters talking about complex topics. take any subject, maybe Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata. You have to, read a lot or hear a lot of discourses before you can start to make sense of it. You have to hear about the whole, episode of Ramayana to take some snippet out of it and apply it to your life. And then you understand how to live in this life, how to conduct yourself. But then what? You never get a full picture. And so a coincidence happened in my life. So maybe before starting, let me give a little bit of introduction about myself. Of course, my name is Jagan G. I stay in California, and I've been staying there since 1998. And I moved there because of the job purpose. I'm a trained computer engineer. So with the software background, I moved over there. Just like many people who have moved to United States for various kind of jobs. So I got settled there. And as life was going through its own course, part of me probably was a seeker, because having been on this path, I know that it cannot be just a coincidence that you bump into a person like Ishwapuriji, a perfect living master. Still to this day, I don't believe that I came upon this chance of meeting him and bumping into his videos. So my mind reluctantly, argues with me and tries to convince me that, okay, I have had a story prior to this life, because of which, everything that followed after meeting master has happened. Yet I cannot find those dots, those data points prior to meeting Ishwaji, where I was really thirsting for this knowledge. So maybe, this is a gift from the universe, from the creator. And maybe there was a part that many of us played, including myself, because of which I'm being given this gift of seva. So through the coincidence, I saw his video and I was totally shocked, surprised that there's something called Radha Swami Mat that exists in India. In fact, that reminds me that even Great Master, when he came to know about Radha Swami, he did not want to believe it. He didn't know what Radha Swami was, because back then it was not called Radha Swami, but he was familiar with the traditional Vedanta. He had read a lot of literature, spiritual literatures, religious literatures. And so for him also, it was very difficult to accept this name, Radha Swami. When he went to his master, Baba Jaimal Singh Ji, to get initiation, because after meeting Baba Jaimal Singh Ji for the first time, it took a couple of days for him to listen to the lectures and get ready to get initiated. Yet he was totally comfortable, and he wanted to accept the teachings of Radha Swami. But he did not want to use the name Radha Swami himself, because he had not heard it before that. And so anyway, his master convinced him by saying that, tell me any literature, Ramayana or Mahabharata or any other religious text, Jab G, that great master used to recite every morning. How many names are there? How many names of gods are there? And he said, 1100 to 1200 names are there that God is called by, and he asked him, so before coming upon these names in Japji, did you know of any of these names? And of course, great master did not know about these things, these names. And so his master said, you do not have any objection in accepting those names that are written in Japji, but you hadn't encountered them, yet you accepted them. So if I tell you that, God can be called by another name, Radha Swami, so what objection do you have? A great master did not find any argument, to go around this. So he happily accepted. So that was my situation also when I came to know, although Ishwarji never talked about Radha Swami per se, he was addressing mostly Western audience, trying to simplify the whole message of great master in a way that Western audience could understand easily. And having been trained in science, I also used to just think in a logical way and did not want to carry, baggage of a lot of literature behind in order to validate to me, certain basic truth, which I felt should be deductible by any individual. So having bumped into Ishuji's video, it became so easy for me to, in a short manner, understand in 1 hour of beautiful, wonderful discourse that truth can be summarized in such a succinct way, such a simple way, without discussing about meaning of different, maybe Sanskrit words, complicated words. We can just rely on the experience that we have. So I found it very amazing that this knowledge exists, and it came from India, and I completely missed it while I was here. I was reading, whatever literature was around, or hearing about different gods or different masters, but I never thought that the truth can be explained in these words that Ishwarji used, simple, basic English words. And so after that, the world started changing for me. I kept watching different videos of Ishwarji and sort of submerged myself in that world. Of course, when I saw his picture, I just could not resist looking at him, looking at his the manner in which he delivered the discourses, the jokes that he told, the pauses that he took, and different stories that he related, right? His association with his great master. And it felt like, maybe your grandfather is talking, or maybe your uncle is talking to you. And he seemed to have answered to pretty much everything, and of course, this kept happening as I watched more and more videos of him. And I started wondering, is there a subject that he cannot give a talk on? And of course, I found that, I almost, scanned all the corners of internet as if, to find any new material that he has given a talk on. After some point, you start realizing that, oh man, he's talking the same thing over and over in different lectures. Yet, you find unique way of delivering it, unique way of you to understand. And so we started looking for other materials that, he has talked about. So we ran into palmistry and various other, even homeopathy also. Some people had collected videos of. So, and so that started making a strange change, I believe, looking back into the whole trajectory of my life, that it completely, started changing me, started changing the outlook of life, started affecting the way I worked. And of course, the first thing you do after meeting a man like this is to have his darshan. And by then, I'd gathered that there is something called initiation, where master just, gives you certain words. He plants his picture in your head somehow, and then he takes hold of your hand and gives you a promise that he's going to be with you forever. Not just this life, not next life. A promise is a promise that till you reach your destination, till you realize who you are, he's going to be holding your hand and taking you to your destination, and he's going to be with you. He's going to be traveling with you. So that was all a foreign concept to me before that. I thought you just, there is some God sitting somewhere. There are various forms of God. And so finding this, itself was a great chance, great luck for me. And, so this was 2014 that it happened with me. And now when I meet a lot of satsangis, at least from half of them, I realize that they have bumped into Ishwarji through his videos, and then finally meeting him and getting initiation. And coming up with so many stories, personal stories, coincidences, miracles that they have been experiencing in their life. So this started happening since 2024, and I wasn't sure, I'm fit for this path, because as even Nipun was saying, that, we judge ourselves, we know who we are, we know our flaws, but if we were to try to qualify ourselves for this path, we would not think that we are fit for this path. And, when it came to getting initiation, I was able to, fulfill maybe part of the requirement, eating non-veg, not eating non-veg, because I know in my college days, I used to eat non-veg. So, and this was a very, trivial thing, but I've done a lot of bad things as well, which I cannot even begin to share. So I definitely thought in my mind that I'm not capable of this, a person, who is supposed to be perfect living master, how can I, justify that he take on my burden of karma, and probably I'm not fit, They say that, when you are initiated, there has to be a readiness, so I kept thinking that this is just my luck that I bumped into him. It's just truly a random chance, and he was not going to initiate me. I was just trying to find different flaws, different reasons so that I could deal with the response that I was guessing would happen, which is he would say, you have to wait, so I was just trying to come up with the reasons so that, I can satisfy my mind if I at all was declined by Ishwarji that, okay, no, you have to come back, next year. Because I would see people go stand in line for initiation, and some of them, would get rejected. And I thought I was in the rejected list. Anyway, my time came and Ishwarji happily accepted me. And because I knew that I could not bear the thought of rejection. And so, like many of us, the journey started. But as time passed, in 2017, I got a chance to be a bit closer to him, because maybe there was a yearning in me. I used to ask him question inside, that what's going on, I'm not making any progress. You talk about this love and devotion. I don't experience anything. When I would make sure that every Bhandara time I would at least go to, Bhandara events, and I would see people crying, when they would see Ishwarji touch their feet, or when Ishwarji would hug them, they would just cry, and they could not speak as to what's going on, and so, including my family. And I would be extremely perplexed, that he's just a man, Even after watching all the videos, my mind used to say that this is just a man, human being in flesh. And I could not understand, why people react this way, why my family reacted this way. But there was a thing that kept bothering me, that he would end most of his discourses spending at least 1/4 of the time, or 2/3 of the 1/3 of the time, talking about love and devotion, the importance of love in this path. And I could deal with, doing meditation or different kind of yoga, which I used to do earlier. I could accept it somehow, but this love and devotion, it just did not register in me. What is it? I see people crying. I see people missing him, but none of those things happened to me. And I remember I used to go for office, which was almost an hour drive, and each way an hour drive. And like most of the people in technology or otherwise, whoever have free time and been initiated, people listen to his talks repeatedly, right? You have collection of his talks in your MP3 player or whatever on phone. And being a satsangi seeker, your mind is always think about your master. And so I would do the same thing, I would listen to the same lectures, sometimes multiple times, only realizing that I had not listened to this part. This is new, even though you are listening to the same lecture. So they were as if messages were hidden for you. You're not ready for them at that time. But I would get stuck on this part of, he would talk about love and devotion. And so that kept bothering me. And so there was a situation that I was going through in my life, personal life. So I'm just going through as an introduction because I'm seeing you for the first time. I think you should know me, where I'm coming from. And a lot of you are probably seeing me in physical proximity for the first time, and I don't know how much you got a chance to see me on online platform. So I thought I'll just do a quick revision of, who Jagannath Kirai is, how he is associated with his master, Ishupuri Ji. So the repeated questions like this, what is love and devotion? And so it started bothering me. And it so happened that circumstances got created in my work environment, which got me completely frustrated. Anybody who has worked in a sort of any traditional structural environment, with bosses and bosses boss and whole series of people, managing you, and your expectation of succeeding in the life and putting effort, not getting the right result, and politics and so on, the normal routine. And I was getting frustrated in my own unique way, and with the tremendous pressure of work. So there was a vacation coming up, summertime, and my family kept telling me that take a break, you have been just slogging your way, I was putting too much effort. So so this was 2017, and as a habit, we used to always, as a, sometimes time pass also, just watch Ishwarji's video, so on the living room, we have a large TV where my son used to play video games, and we had just taken it away from him and used to play Ishwarji's video all the time. And so, he would come back from, his school and see that, okay, Ishwarji's video is playing, So he also got frustrated, he also needed a little break. So I was thinking of how to, really please my family. And then, so circumstances also changed in the same way. And then I thought, okay, maybe I should take a break, long break. How about going to Europe, that's what my family wanted to do. So I thought, okay, let's do that. I don't know, thought occurred in me that maybe I should see what Ishwarji is doing, Generally, we hear that he goes to, India or some other place in summer. So quickly checked ishanews.org and saw that Ishwarji is also going to Europe. And we had just thought of going to Europe. And the plan is already laid out for him that in a week he will be in London. And so I thought, okay, maybe we could also go with Ishwarji and attend his lectures. That will be the best. We'll be able to see Europe, as they say, ek तीर से दो शिकार. By the way, आप लोगों में audience में कोई है जो English नहीं समझता? Okay, good. I don't have to repeat it in Hindi. So, we thought we'll see Europe, some places in Europe, and also have satsang. And so, but, generally you have to register for an event. And without that, you don't know whether the event is happening, whether you will be allowed or not. So I was a little hesitating whether to try to even register or not, and I thought that maybe I should ask Ishwarji if you could accompany him. And my sort of logic was that Ishwarji used to, in some of his discourse, while reminiscing about his master in a very loving way, mostly recalling the times that he was close to his master, he would narrate this story that, during vacation, summer vacation, he would go on train with great master to, I guess, probably it was Karachi, where his uncle used to stay. And then he would talk about this, I guess, Vedantic master, Swami Brahmanandji, and the way he would, every time recall that story. So it became, I thought maybe I should, I'm talking about vacation, Ishuji was referring to vacation. Maybe, he can give me a grace of his company. But I was hesitating, I felt, there are so many disciples who want to be close to him. He's going to Europe to give satsang, and he's going to be traveling quite a bit. So there's no way, I can ask for some time, and then he would give me that time. So, my mind was saying no. Part of my heart wanted to still try. My wife told me that what's the worst that will happen? He will say no. I said okay, because I was not comfortable with hearing no. You you sort of give your heart out, right? It's like proposing to your girlfriend or a girl, hoping to hear yes. You don't want to hear no. You would rather not propose. It's like that. So it's very hard to see defeat. So anyway, after a little bit of encouragement, I ended up sending, mail to Ishwaji through the portal. There used to be to send messages to Ishwaji. So I made a request and then quickly got a response from Ishwaji, saying that yes, come along, and Jonathan, who was a president for Isha, would send me all the details. And I could not believe my luck, that, he really accepted my request, and that, yes, there is a chance that we'll be spending a little bit of time, we'll be at least attending the event with him, and I'll be thinking that, okay, we are traveling together or something like that. It's just a fancy imagination going on in my head based on Ishwaji's, narrative of spending time with his master. Anyway, so I quickly made a reservation and made a lot of mistake in booking the hotel also. What was supposed to be just, I guess, 3-4 day event, and I was supposed to book hotel for just 3-4 days. I ended up booking for a month, and with UK prices, it was a lot of money, and I didn't even realize that I paid that much money, It didn't matter to me, because I wanted to get the dates, and, I get a call from UK saying that, are you sure you want to stay here for a month? I said, no, sorry, no, I don't want to stay for a month, just for these days. So that's how much excited I was, and I could care less about, how I'm getting there, how many days I'm staying there. All I was thinking of was that, Master said yes. Anyway, we made all the arrangement. We reached there, and I get a mail from Ishwaji asking if we reached okay or not. And he said, take a rest, and we'll see you tomorrow. And I was so shocked that, why is this man, catering to an ordinary person like me? He has so many people to attend to, And before that, I used to see, there are a lot of elder satsangis or people in Chicago who used to do regular seva. And here I am, just fly for half a day or so to attend Ishaji's, satsangs whenever I got a chance, and I had long enough break. So why would he, care about me? And yet, and we, for most of the time, we would just go, I would go attend satsang, and right after that, I'll maybe eat lunch somewhere and then go back. I hardly got a chance to meet anyone, socialize with anyone. But I always felt that, okay, I'm too timid in this path, I don't know anything. But there are all these veterans, so, I'm not in the right company, I cannot inject myself amongst them, because I was feeling too small about myself. And here is this man, he's asking whether we are okay or not, and he's really, I felt that, he's really caring about us. That was the sense I got. Otherwise he has, so many people to meet and attend to, and that we used to observe. Whenever he would come for satsang, there will be so many people around him, sometimes guarding him, sometimes doing seva. And whenever I would have my personal meeting, I would just get, 1 or 2 minutes before somebody came knocking, and then I could not ask any more question. So I understood how busy he was. So why would somebody, take out a time to ask? Even crafting a mail takes time, and you have to remember, right? And so it kind of impressed my mind that, okay, he's being very kind, and like a uncle or grandfather, he's trying to take care of you. And then, so this was in the night when we reached, and next morning we go to the, this was 2017, and Nipun was talking about a wonderful meal that they had prepared. I remember the feast we had, and where Ishuji's wife, Toshiji, she had remarked that all these people who come here, they don't come here to listen to your lecture. They just come here to have good meal, and socialize. And yeah, I felt the same way. A part of us really want to meet other satsangis, want to listen to their story, and socialize, a lot of times, or maybe have future satsangs together. So in that, so there's a huge auditorium, huge hall. And so, we are sitting somewhere waiting for Ishwaji. And the main volunteer, Samsher, he comes running and he calls our name. Is there a Jagannath somewhere? And I don't know what we were doing, maybe I was talking to my wife or some other people. It didn't even register to me that our name is being called. And then he again, came a little further and shouted loudly, is there a Jagannath from California? Then our ears perked up. California, okay, yes. Oh, they're calling us, and then we didn't understand why they're calling us. Anyway, we raised our hand and he said, Ishwaji wants to see you. Come out. And we were shocked. And anyway, so we didn't know what was the context, but he's calling us, okay, let's go. And so we just quickly hurried, made our way to Ishwaji. And Ishwaji was sitting in a car, and my instant reaction was, even seeing him for the first time, that I really wanted to touch his feet. Something came over me, that was, I could not hold. Our minds don't accept. My mind did not accept it, that this person in flesh and blood, who does normal chores, it's just he narrates beautiful stories. That's what it used to argue my mind, But when it came to action, it did not want to miss any chance. So I just instantly, ran towards his feet. So this opportunity also, instinct kicked in. I tried to touch his feet, but he was sitting on the other side. So I had to go run and touch his feet. And he gently shook my hand. I still remember the soft hands that he had, a little cold because, this was summer. So I don't know why it was cold, but it felt like he's aging. This was 2017. And he said, with the mail that you sent, you really have touched my heart. So because in the mail I expressed the desire to recreate that experience that he had with his master. And I realized, okay, that is why he's paying so much attention to me. So that is a way to grab his attention, so that was the trick I thought, in fact, that's why I thought of this trick, so that I could get attention from him. But he showered so much attention after that, that, it filled my cup completely. I realized, what love and devotion he was talking about. Because I felt, after, so he committed to us that he would have lunch, dinner, breakfast with us, and he fulfilled that. He went to dinner, he took us to dinner with his wife, spent a lot of time. We were like small kids, trying to talk, me and my wife and my son were trying to talk out of each, on top of each other's voice, so that we could be heard, and we could relate our part of the story, our experiences. And Ishwarji quietly, listened, and he would nod his head. And a lot of beautiful experiences he gave us. These are not any extraordinary, not inside internal experience, but in physical life, what a master can do for you, just having his presence and saying few things to you and spending time with you. The time is one of the most important commodity. And for a person like him, who has so many seekers, want to get more than 3 minutes of his time, if he's just allocating a whole evening for us, I just cannot imagine, that somebody who is so successful, even in his physical life, Ishwarji was so successful, for him to just give away a little bit of, solid time for us and spending time, that was more than I had imagined, more than I had asked for. I think even if he had just said it, that okay, we'll spend time, but he hadn't spent time, I would still be okay, because the fact that he said so, he has to keep his word, but I'll be happy. That's what I thought. But I felt I got, more than I had asked for or I could dream of. And same thing continued even after London. He was going for other programs in other places in Spain and few more places. We kept bumping into him. He would be in a restaurant, we'll see him having food in the restaurant and we'll just wave him, so it felt so close, felt like there is a friendship, and we could just, wave him, without any hesitation, and he would respond. And we also told him, he was in Spain staying in a hotel, and, in the hotel we bumped into each other. And Ishwarji started asking, so how did you get here? Did you fly in? And we told him, no, Ishwarji, we took a train. And he became so curious, he wanted to know, how did we find out about the train? So we explained to him, okay, this is how, we took a train from London to Paris, and then from Paris a different train. And so he was very curious, and we in fact suggested to him, maybe next time you should come with us, and we'll go have a train journey, So literally trying to enact the same thing that Ishwarji had with his master. And then started imagining even fancier things. Like maybe we can book a flight, reserve a small aeroplane, from Chicago and go to Europe with him. So totally immersed into thought of being with him, regardless of the time or cost. So, that was a wonderful experience that we had. And right after that, as we, the event got over, Ishwarji went one way, continuing with events in Sweden and other places. And we went on a different sort of journey, actual sightseeing and all that. And when we came back, you realize that this man, when he says something, he really means it, you know. And he also has a physical limitation. There are so many people who want to be near him, want to get his darshan, want to ask him a lot of questions. And so it is not possible for him to satisfy everyone, and out of so many attempts that are being made, because Ishwarji one time told me that, see, when I come to India, there are a lot of satsangis from US who also travel along with him. And they also want to have their 2-minute meeting along with all the disciples who are in India, maybe Bangalore, New Delhi. So they're trying to compete as well, not really compete, but time is a limitation. It's in physical reality, it's a resource, and we are trying to divvy up. So these people who have access to Ishwarji back in the United States, they are also coming here. So he was sort of in a, I won't say frustrating, but he was saying that, I'm giving these people enough time, even in US, and yet they are also here. But I can also understand, from a disciple's point of view, as a disciple, you think this master is only for me, the rest are, are not important, right? Third party characters, That's how we would like to think, this master just cares about me, yeah, उन लोगों के लिए होगा कोई master, I don't care about him. So we are also greedy, thirsty, because we also have strong seeking, and so when I felt that, this man doesn't have enough time because he had family also, his wife was there, his kids are also there. So he's a family man as well. And so I felt sometimes guilty that maybe I should not push it this much, that other people don't have enough time. But I was happy for the time I was given. And I had, I really understood at the time what love and devotion means. And because being touched by a master in such a intimate way, it's like a divine romance, divine love, and so those memories that, I was blessed with, I feel that those are the most precious treasure that we as a disciple can have, remember every moment. Because when Nipun was talking about, remembering your master, imagining, right, in front of the blackness that you see when you close your eyes, when you're trying to meditate first and not going anywhere, but still trying to remember your master, those are extremely helpful. You have a very good starting point because those are emotionally bound. When you see him for the first time, the way he interacts with you, the way he holds your hand, the dress that he was wearing, the way he was smiling, maybe he handed you a cookie, maybe he gave you a little bit of gift, so everything matters. The jokes that he told, how people reacted on those jokes, everything, every small thing can be used as a stepping stone, and you can build on that. You can remember, you can use imagination to play with the master. Maybe you like dancing, then you dance with your master. Maybe you like writing poetry, narrate that poetry to him, tell him what happened, accident happened, or you're not getting good marks, your business is not going well, whatever is happening, I'm sure nobody is in a situation where they're extremely happy all the time, right? In this life, we go through ups and downs. Most of the time we feel it's all down, If you're not getting anything, that's also down. You're not seeing any experience, that we call it down, And we long for, a pleasurable experience, some experience inside. But all of that can be used to seek, He, as a master, a man in flesh and blood, like all masters, like all human beings, like us, he came in this world. He had his own DVD. He played a role. He played a role of of a human being in this world, as a father, as a teacher, and administrative roles and various other roles that he played. And he was a perfect living master. He was a disciple, like we are disciples. He reached a point where he said himself, when people asked him, have you been to Sachkhand? And he would not answer that question because his, you can say, humbleness, or they're not supposed to give that answer. But he, in indirect ways, so many ways, he said that whatever his master promised him, he has delivered it to the hilt without any doubt. Short of saying that I'm in Sachkhand, this is the best one could do. And I felt that, as a human being in this life, he was able to, with his master's grace, he was able to achieve everything that Sant Mat has to offer. And he started doing the seva for his master. But all the masters, even his master, had to go through this phase. They were also born as a human being. They also had to go through struggles of being a disciple. And in some cases, a lot of them had to struggle a lot. I mean, if you read stories of Baba Jaimal Singh Ji, he traveled for almost 8-9 years continuously on foot in different directions, just searching for the words, because he had heard about the words. There are 5 words, and he could only gather 2 words, but he was not willing to compromise. He wanted to hear 5 words. And after traveling a lot of distance on foot, he finally found his master. Finally, he got what he was seeking. In fact, in case of great master himself, he broke his leg while trying to ride his horse. So his, I guess, assistant who used to take care of the horses, he had cut its mane, and it was great master's habit to hold on to the mane and then climb on the horse. But he was not informed by this caretaker that the mane is not there. So he was not ready. He thought that mane is there, and he tried to climb. And then he fell. And he broke his leg and femur. And he was hospitalized for 3 months. And his master, Jaimal Singh Ji, had predicted, he had told Bibi Ruko that there's going to be a bad episode with great master, unfortunately. And a master like great master, who initiated over 450,000 people, that means took responsibility of all these souls. Can you imagine? And who served his master for 45 years, non-stop. Once he was given the duty of Dera Abhyas, he would just come from his work, go to Dera Abhyas, and conduct the duties of whatever Abhyas had to do with. Making sure that the satsangs happen, the langars happen. He, in fact, was such a dedicated sevadar himself that he used to fetch water for satsang, from the well himself. And to serve his master, he would go to another village, bring the bucket of water, and carry it himself for bathing, for drinking. He was a human being. He was a human being just like us. And in fact, in Girona, Spain, when I was hearing one of the lectures, it dawned on me that, we are trapped here because of all the bad things that we have done, or maybe good things we have done. We don't have a memory of all this. And see, somebody else comes in our life so that we can go back to our true home. And just to do that, they themselves have to put themselves in the misery and go through all the difficulties in their life. So I thought, look at great masters also. Great master Huzur Maharaj Baba Sahib Singh Ji, whose death anniversary we are celebrating, Bhandara. even he had to endure pain to release us from this all cage, to show us the path for a little bit of teaching, but mostly to hold our hand and give this promise that they will take us home with them. I mean, who would do that? You can look at all the relationships that you have. Most of them are skin deep. Most of them are full with expectation. And I found that just by mentioning great master's name to Ishwarji, he was willing to give, from my point of view, infinite amount of time. That's the feeling I had. And it was like I have Ishwarji for eternity during those times, because I forgot, that I have to, this experience, physical experience was ever going to end. And that repeated multiple times. So the memories that I had was so beautiful that I can always go back and remind myself of the person I was in company with and the person who gave a promise that he's never going to leave our side. So when a person like him asks you to do something, what can you do? So I'm extremely fortunate to be here because Ishwarji used to visit here. I remember this background, seeing it on YouTube videos and him giving it discourse here. I was here a few years back when somebody told us that Ishwarji is in Delhi and he's conducting a satsang. And at that time, I think it was 2019 or 2018. So we happened to be here in Pune, vacationing with my family. And then as soon as the word reached us, we thought, okay, let's drop everything. Let's go and hear Ishwarji satsang, we could not wish for the even better thing, and so we quickly figured out where the satsang is normally held, and we reached the venue only to find that it doesn't look like any celebration going on, because we expected if Ishwarji is here, the place would be live, a lot of people would be showing up here. Anyway, then, after talking to Nipun and others, we found out that no, Ishwarji was not supposed to be here. But we thought, okay, it doesn't matter, his satsang is going on, so we'll enjoy that satsang. And we had wonderful lunch, and we got to meet Chandaji and Ramaji, and we took some photograph, and so we had access to Ishwarji phone number by then, and immediately texted it to him that, okay, see who we just bumped into, your sisters. And yeah, he smiled. So, small memories like that, that I think so much, the questions that I had about what love and devotion is, the love that I experienced in just being in his company. And I know personally how many things he took care of me. Maybe in future, when long time has passed, I'll get to share some of the personal things that has happened with me after he came in my life, and how he took care of a lot of worldly things. There's nothing but, thank is a very small word that I can use. I'm so grateful. There's no way I can repay. So I feel that, reluctantly, even if I have to do this work for him, there is no choice. First of all, your master asks you to do something, you just do it, just because he asked for it. And then you remember everything that he has done for you. You can never repay back. And how would the promise that he has given you, can you ever pay back? Most of the connections, as I was saying, was, of exchange, transaction, things are skin deep. But here is a person who is saying that not only this life, when all the relationships would change, we care about our friendship, family members, they're just for this life. They'll be gone in the next life. there won't be any continuity. Maybe if you have, some karma associated with them, you will fulfill your karma in a different way, but you won't have any memory of, why you are paying off this karma. And the relationship would have changed, and the expectation would also be different in the next life. But this man who has promised you, he will keep you straight on this path. He will make sure that you continue to progress. And as Great Master had said, that anybody who was initiated by him, would have to be around for at most 4 lives. So, nothing can match that. The unconditional love that he gives you, for which he never asks anything, right? I mean, in this path, masters don't ask for any money, don't ask for any favor. It is a seva that they give to their satsangis, their disciples. More than that, they are serving their master. And being in this presence, I'm honored to be amongst you, having your darshan, that I don't think myself as a spiritually fit candidate. I used to say that I'm, maybe a part-time seeker, but I see so many devoted folks, people who have been on this path, yearning, now sharing a lot of their story with me. I cannot express the love I feel amongst you. I feel that you are generously giving me also the same love that you give to Ishwarji. And probably because I'm representing him, before he passed away, he asked me to do some seva for the organization that he founded, Isha, Institute for the Study of Human Awareness. And as a part of that, he's building a meeting hall, and so that a lot of disciples can have a place to meet and have discourses, because the place where he put the foundation, it's a very remote place in Wisconsin. Wisconsin is one of the places in the United States where there's a lot of cold, more than Delhi, I can tell you. And so, but he decided that, okay, that path is where the foundation of spirituality or Santmat is going to be starting from. And I'm already with the events that are happening in the world, I'm so surprised that when Great Master had predicted that axis of spirituality is going to shift, and that will not only reflect in people becoming spiritual, but also economically there's going to be a seismic shift. So I can already feel, when I came to landed in Bombay and saw all the developments that are happening, that kept reminding me that yes, indeed, what Great Master talked about, I'm already seeing happen. India is becoming materially so successful. The roads, the trains, the bridges that are being made, the number of flights. I have very old memory. I was last year in 1997, working somewhere. So I'm trying to relate it to that, but there is, the chasm is so big. A lot of things have changed. So, even though I visit here every maybe 5-6 years, so I find that things are accelerating here. And the world events that are happening right now, that tells me that, there's even more serious shift that is about to happen, with the war going on, with the oil-related shock that all countries are experiencing. And somehow, some of the countries in the East will probably still be flourishing. So I'm able to, see the prediction that Ishwarji had mentioned, and which Great Master had talked about. So the shift is already beginning to happen. And some of us who are in United States wonder why a place like Bruce was chosen by Ishwarji, because it is very remote, if by conventional means, so if you have to go to Bruce, you have to make significant effort to be there. But I believe if Master has chosen that place, a master like Ishwar Puri Ji, who was a disciple of another perfect living master, great master. It cannot be for nothing. It's just we mere mortal seekers, beginners, a lot of us, have no idea. But have faith, have trust on your master, that everything, has a plan. And I'm able to see, not through any internal insight, but just externally observing that shift has already begun to happen. And so this place also, this was one of the favorite places that Ishwarji used to come and spend a lot of time. And so I was happy to see the room that he used to stay in. Everything that he touched was prasad for us, and that's how we remember. And we remember in our heart, in mind, in everything that we do. That's the best form of, I realize meditation is hard for most of us, but just thinking about him, as he used to say, is meditation. That is the best way of remembering him, especially if you have some moments spent with him, or if you haven't spent any time with him, just seek, as he used to say. With my personal experience, I used to ask him. Seeking doesn't mean that you have to travel somewhere, go to temple and ask the priest a question. You seek in your heart. We are all one, but we reflect as different drops. That is the essence of spirituality. But it's just that we haven't realized. And so, but if you start with this belief that if you ask question in your heart, if you seek in your heart, the answer will come. Master himself have said that. So you just follow that, you'll have the answer, and you'll be on your way. You'll be doing meditation. And with that, I'll stop my discourse. It was wonderful to see all of you, and I hope I'll get some chance to talk to you in person as well, one-on-one. Thank you so much.